What does the year 2023 have in store for us? That's the question. Well, I can quickly tell you what it's not going to be. It's not going to be a repeat of 2022. It's not going to be the same old stuff, just different dates on the calendar. No, there is good stuff in store for us for the new year. Aloha, I'm David. Welcome to my 2023 energy forecast and spiritual outlook for the new year from a Lemurian point of view. And I'll explain what that is in just a minute. I've got a lot of things I'd like to share with you today. So stick around. My guides want me to do a card reading at some point about the new year, so we'll get to that. So just join me by taking a heart-centered breath to just set the energy for today, okay? So just bring your awareness to the area of your heart. Just imagine that you're breathing in and out of your heart a little slower and deeper than usual. Just relax. Allow your vibration to shift. That feels good. Well, we know that the last 3 years have been interesting and challenging to say the least. And it's all been preparation, right? This has all been setting us up for this new phase of life, this new phase of human consciousness and evolution that we're moving into as we get into 2023. From a Lemurian point of view, we look at energy or spiritual growth in a different way than we typically do as third dimensional humans. Remember, Lemuria was a high vibrating reality that existed at a higher dimension. There were thinner veils between our incarnate selves and our higher selves. So we experienced the world much differently. It was much less dense. And so in Lemuria, we didn't measure time as we do in our current third dimensional world. Linear time, measuring linear time, is a very human construct, and it's relatively arbitrary. So in Lemuria, we didn't measure time, we didn't compare lengths of time and so forth. We were more aware of cycles and the unfolding of processes. And we were aware of cycles on both a more local scale, like the lunar cycle here on Earth, but also cosmic cycles. So we could feel the effect of cycles, and it really was a feeling thing. And if you can imagine, in Lemuria, we were really present in the moment because we were so connected to the world around us. Other people, plants, animals, the earth itself, the cosmos, we felt one, we felt connected. And so we did think about things just a little differently. We were kind of aware of the flow of cycles, the flow of energy and the influences happening in any particular moment. But we didn't worry about the past. We didn't worry about the future. We were very much in the present. So what I'm sharing with you today is trying to take a Lemurian perspective and look at kind of energetic trends or energies that are in motion that are going to carry us through the year 2023. And just looking at just looking at that number, 2023, in Lemurian numerology, that number is significant. So we add up the digits and we get a 7. And so that we know simply by the label we've given that year that one of the big themes for the year is going to be transition or change. And I know you hear those words and you think, oh my goodness, how much more transition and change do we need to experience? I mean, do you remember the pandemic? Do you remember all the things we've gone through over the last 3 years? Well, as I said, the last 3 years, in so many ways, multiple levels, has been preparation for the good stuff that's coming up ahead. You can look at the last 3 years as kind of kicking up the stagnant silt on the bottom of the pond, right? You had to stir things up so that we can kind of clear things off our plate, clear the way forward. So there's been a lot of that clearing, preparation. That's been the theme of the last 3 years. That's why the pandemic happened for humanity. It's to really stir things up and get us ready to move to a new higher level of experience. But in addition to all the different challenges and changes and just things we had to overcome during the last 3 years, we've been building up potential. I don't know if you remember back in, I don't know, elementary, no, it wouldn't be elementary, but maybe junior high, high school science or physics, the idea of potential energy. You know, when you push a heavy ball up a hill, that ball is gaining potential energy because when you let it go, gravity allows that energy to be released as it rolls down the hill. So over the last 3 years, and especially, but even before that, maybe for the last decade, we've been building up potential energy from a spiritual point of view, getting ready for new phases, new higher vibrating phases of human evolution, human consciousness. And so each of us is holding this incredible potential energy. And that's been part of what we've experienced in recent years. We've been accumulating, acquiring, building up potential energy. So even though from a numerological point of view, this next year is about transition and change, it's all good stuff. It's all good change. In fact, the theme, my guides have been telling me for weeks now, the theme for the new year is going to be it's downhill, downstream. They keep telling me, let gravity do the work. And so that's been stuck in my head, like, yeah, just allow things to flow. The last couple of days here in the valley where we live, we've had some really dramatic thunderstorms passing through the valley. And when it rains hard, the cliffs out behind our house, all these waterfalls start showing up, cascading down, and they flow down as waterfalls into streams and then feed into a larger stream. And I can even see it here in the neighborhood, water running through neighbors' yards, down the street. That water is just allowing gravity to do the work. Water is just following the path of least resistance downhill toward the lower land, toward the ocean eventually. It doesn't work. Water is just allowing itself to flow, letting gravity do the work. And so that image has been in my mind about this coming year. It's really about allowing ourselves to flow downhill, to let things flow downstream, to really let go of control in many ways and just let gravity and the stream take us where it's meant to take us. Because ultimately it's our stream, it's our downhill. It's only us getting in the way, thinking we know better, or we have worries and fears that get in the way. Those are the only things that impede the natural, powerful, organic flow of energy from where we are now to where our higher selves know that we want to go. So for me, that's the big theme for this new year. It's allowing things to flow downstream, downhill. Let gravity do the work. And I've even started feeling that even in December this month. Maybe you have too. You start to get little glimpses like, oh, I feel a little bit lighter. I'm feeling a little bit more optimistic about the new year. So many good things seem to be bubbling under the surface. And if you're getting those glimpses, it's all that wonderful potential energy that you've basically been storing up into your system that you can now just allow to flow as you move into the new year. In fact, my guides are saying, you and I have built up so much potential energy from a spiritual point of view that there's more than enough to carry us through multiple lifetimes. So don't worry. You're not going to have to push that big boulder up a hill anymore, okay? that struggle, that level of stress and struggle and feeling like you have to work hard, that's part of what we're being guided to let go. So remember, let gravity do the work. Allow yourself and your life to flow downhill in the new year. Now, I want to talk about 3 phases energetically that my guides have laid out for the coming year. So there's going to be 3 phases and also 2 basic choices that we have available to us, okay? So what are the 3 phases that we can expect to unfold in the new year? Well, the first one you can imagine as just starting your downhill run. If you've gone snow skiing, you know what it's like. You're standing at the top of a run and you see that everything is flowing downhill in front of you. And so you just give yourself a little push, a little skate, and you start to slowly build up momentum until you really pick up speed moving down the hill. Well, the first 3 lunar cycles, at least the first 3, getting into the 4th lunar cycle of the new year, the general feeling is going to be of this kind of like freedom, like letting yourself start that downhill, start going downstream and allowing yourself to pick up momentum. And that is going to last through several months, several lunar cycles at the beginning of the year. You're really going to feel momentum building and it's going to feel good in general. It's going to feel good if you allow it to flow. Remember I said there's 3 phases, 2 choices. Here are your 2 choices throughout the year. You can either let gravity do the work, allow yourself to flow and trust the process. Really, that's the word, trust the process. Or you can let doubts come up. You can resist the flow. Which one feels more appealing? I can tell you which one's going to be easier. It might take a little practice, but trusting the process is going to make everything easier. So this first phase, lasting 3 or 4 lunar cycles at the beginning of the year, is more about allowing yourself to go with the flow. Start that downhill, allow momentum to build. Now, during the middle part of the year, this is the middle third, the image I get is that we're flowing downhill, downstream, and we might reach a part where the stream starts to meander. There's some flat areas where we're just kind of gliding along, meandering along. There's not a lot of speed. There might be some obstacles in the way we have to move around. We're still flowing downhill, but we're not going to have that same sense of speed and momentum building. So there might be a feeling of a little up and down, a little side to side. It's not a bad thing, but it will feel different. So this, again, you come back to, am I going to trust the process or doubt the process? As long as you continue to trust and you realize, okay, I'm still flowing downhill, I'm still flowing downstream, it's just feeling a little bit different. So as long as you look around, and there might even be storms that pass and come through, right? This is not just going to be tra-la-la-la-la, skipping through the daisies. There might be some challenges, but as long as you remember, like, okay, this is all part of the flow. I'm okay. I'm going with the stream. I'm going with the current. Everything's okay. So you can have chaos happening on either side of you. You can have storms raging and passing through. It's all temporary, and it doesn't have to distract you. You're still heading downstream. You're still flowing, and it's a good thing. Now, the third phase of the year, it's interesting because we're going to start, as we're getting into the final 3 or 4 lunar cycles of the year, we're going to feel that momentum building again. It's like, oh, okay, I feel like I'm picking up speed. Things are going good. All sorts of things are coming together. A lot of things that I started focusing on early in the year, they start to come to fruition, and I feel things building up momentum, building up speed. Things are coalescing and manifesting faster than maybe you had experienced in the past. So there is going to be that speed, that feeling of momentum picking up. But here's the interesting thing. As we get closer to the end of the year, you're going to feel, not guaranteed, but it's very possible that you're going to feel kind of a fork in your journey, a fork in the stream, in the road, and there's going to be two choices. So imagine you're going downstream and you're in your kayak and you see, oh, on this side, it looks like the water's starting to head downhill on a steeper grade. The water looks like it's starting to move faster, but then there's kind of a slower path off to this side. So either choice is okay, but it is a choice. You can take kind of the slow, easy, kind of meandering path, or you can just let go and allow yourself to go downhill, downstream faster. So in the faster moving energy, you really have to let go. No fighting against, no doubting, no resistance, because then you'll make things difficult for yourself because the energy is moving so much faster. So that is a way to go. Going through the rapids, picking up and experiencing much greater speed in your life, in your manifestations, in your awakenings and realizations, and putting things in, finally, having aha moment after aha moment. That faster moving energy is available to you, but it's going to be a ride, and you have to really be in a position to trust, because there might even be a waterfall. And here's the thing, my guides are saying, don't be afraid of the waterfall. Allow yourself to go over the edge. Isn't that a great analogy? It's like we're safe, we're protected, we can trust the process of life. It's okay to go over the falls. Nothing bad is going to happen as long as we're relaxed and trusting the flow. And my guides, as I pictured kind of going over a steep waterfall, high waterfall in a kayak, my guides are saying, remember, you can fly, you can float. This is not a bad thing. It'll be fun because you'll get the sense of flying before you hit the water again and continue on that downstream journey. So what fun. So again, there's going to be this bifurcation. You're going to have a choice later in the year, and you're going to feel, oh, this one really feels fast and furious in a good way. This one looks a little bit calmer and safer. You can take either route. They're all going to end up at the same place, but the choice is yours about how fast and how much fun you want to get out of, basically it's about the thrill. How much thrill do you want to get out of it? So in general, that's the energetic vision that my guides have been showing me for the new year. And again, from a Lemurian point of view, as I said, we look at in terms of cycles and influences of energy. So, in Lemuria, we didn't have astrology as we do today, not nearly in the same way. We were aware of we were part of a solar system, definitely, and feeling the influences of energy, but current astrology is definitely a human construct. So we were aware of kind of tides and forces, including the effect of photon energy on whatever we were experiencing, but also whatever Mother Earth was experiencing. So that's another kind of dynamic at play throughout the year is the effect of photon energy, waves of photon energy passing through the solar system, passing through our local Earth environment and Earth's gravitational field, having these waves of photon energy affect us. And that photon energy, I'm not sure if you've studied this or heard this before, but that photon energy is really what's behind this acceleration of human evolution over the last, say, 30 years. That this influx of what many people call photon energy, I know it's not the best term, but it's what people use, but this influx of energy has really been the spark, the impetus, what's the word I'm looking for? The catalyst, there we go. It's the catalyst of human evolution, of spiritual awakening within humanity and spiritual growth. And the deeper we get into this photon energy, the faster energy moves, the faster things change and manifest. So there are various waves of photon energy going to be affecting the Earth plane in the coming year. That's part of what's affecting and creating these 3 cycles. But here's the thing about photon energy, that it's not just a static thing that we're subjective to, okay? It's kind of a dance, because the speed or the unfolding of human consciousness kind of determines how much new energy we're ready to receive and integrate. So it's not like, okay, this is absolutely going to happen and this is the timing of it. It's like, no, these general processes are unfolding, but it's a balance, it's a dance. Photon energy is there and available, but if we're not ready to receive and integrate higher levels of it, then higher levels will not be available. So that's also at play in this new year. So hopefully that's helpful, just to kind of look at the new year in this way. I think it's really encouraging, optimistic, uplifting to think about everything's flowing downhill in the new year. Everything's going downstream, and all we have to do is kind of get out of the way and really focus on trusting. Here's one other thing my guides wanted me to share today. Is just some basic thoughts, or thoughts that you can come back to throughout the year to kind of as a touchstone about what's going on. The first one I've shared a couple of times: let gravity do the work. Just as a reminder, it's kind of a metaphor or analogy to allow yourself to flow downhill. Let that potential energy just unfold for you. That's the first one. The other one they wanted me to share was, this is a lot easier than you believe. And that's something that's been coming up recently, that oftentimes we hold on to beliefs that really don't serve us. We believe that we're stuck. We believe that we have blocks. We believe that there's something hidden or mysterious, that if only I could find the right book or the right teacher or the right workshop or have the right epiphany, then I could overcome all of this and move into the kind of life and person that I really want to be. And all of those things are just beliefs. They can be very valid. You're free to hold whatever belief you want to. But remember, beliefs are just thoughts. And thoughts can be changed. So if you're holding a belief that doesn't serve you or doesn't feel good, replace it. Simply let the energy of that old thought, just practice not focusing on it, and instead focus on something new. So if you believe life is hard and needs to be a struggle and you need to compete and so forth, try a new thought. Life is easy. Things come easily to me. What I do in creating my own life has nothing to do with anybody else. I create my own reality. And if you feel like you have blocks, the only reason you feel like you have blocks is that you believe you have blocks. I think I did a video once in recent years that says the only block you need to heal is the belief that you have blocks. Your thoughts, your beliefs, they're malleable, they're exchangeable. So if one doesn't work, try something else. So my guides are saying your life, this whole life thing, this human life thing, spiritual awakening, spiritual growth, manifestation, all this stuff is so much easier than you believe it to be. And it's only because we've inherited beliefs from the adults around us when we were born and growing up. But it doesn't have to be that way. So one of the things you can use as a touchstone throughout the new year is, hey, this can be easier. I can make this more enjoyable. It's easier than I've believed it to be in the past. Okay, I'd like to do a short card reading for you about the new year, keeping in mind everything that I've shared so far. And I'm going to do a 3-card reading, and I'm going to use my wife Mamiko's Lemurian cards. Now, her cards are still only available in Japanese, but they're still beautiful, powerful cards. And I don't read Japanese. I need my cheat sheet, but we're going to use her Lemurian card deck for today's reading. So you can see nice selection of cards. Okay, so I'm going to do a 3-card reading talking about where we are at the beginning of 2023, what the journey primarily of 2023 is going to be about, and then how we're going to feel at the end of the year. Okay, so first card, beginning of the year. Second card, kind of the journey through the year. And the third card, where we're going to end up at the end of the year. Okay, so wow, oh my goodness, this feels really good. Okay, the first card, number 22, is the Pegasus, and the simple message is it's time to leap. Spread your wings and fly. Oh my goodness, how perfect is that? Knowing that as we start the new year, we're allowed to let ourselves start heading downstream, downhill from that peak where we are. And we can just allow ourselves to just let go. Let gravity do the work. Allow ourselves to flow downstream. This is perfect. So Pegasus says, spread your wings and fly in the deep blue sky with me. It's time to jump over the limits you've created. Flying freely in the sky, you will provide hope and be a role model for many people. So this is totally appropriate in keeping with what we talked about, the first phase of the new year. Now the second card, 35, is the Priestess of the Earth Goddess. So in Lemuria, there were goddess temples, and some of the main temples were elemental goddess temples. So there was a earth temple, a fire temple, air temple, water temple. And there were priestesses who served within these goddess temples. So 35 is the Priestess of the Earth Goddess. Now, numerologically, 35 is an 8. An 8 in Lemurian numerology is about the dance between the worlds, between the physical and non-physical worlds. So it's not only that dance between you and your higher self, but also between your human self and your spirit guides, your angels, your goddesses, whoever you work with in the non-physical realm. So it is really about that dance, that dynamic. But her main message is be in harmony with nature and open yourself to receive nature's blessings. She says, your body is a beautiful and sacred temple of your spirit. You cannot be on earth without your physical body. So treating your body as a sacred treasure is a way that you can truly love yourself. So that's her message. But what I'm also getting from this card is something that my guides wanted me to share anyway, in that as we move through 2023, spending time in nature is really important to allowing things to be smooth and as comfortable as possible for us. So what do I mean by being in nature? Well, it's about really spending time away from the built world, away from human creations, and being with trees or rocks or the river or the ocean or mountain or someplace where you can just experience being in the world and experiencing the beauty of it, experiencing what you see, but also experiencing feeling the breeze on your body, hearing the breeze through the trees, through the leaves, hearing bird song, hearing the flow of water or the waves of water coming on shore, really experiencing nature, but with a caveat, not thinking about it, not having that constant monkey chatter of, oh, that's a beautiful bird. I wonder what that bird is. It's like, who did this? I wonder what that is. I wonder what this beach is called. I wonder what that peak is called. You know, there's that part of our mind that really wants to categorize and name and compare, and you know what it's like. And the guidance that we're getting is that it's important to spend a lot of time in nature, but just experiencing nature. Remember, you are the way that the natural world can experience itself, right? I mean, we're connected. So you just need to be there and accept that you're part of this self-experience, and the energy of that experience will really help you throughout the year, help you stay grounded and centered in your heart and connected to spirit. So the more grounded you are, I know it doesn't sound that intuitive, but the more grounded you are and connected to the beauty of the natural world, the easier it is to connect with spirit. I know that seems counterintuitive, but really, the more connected you are to the physical world, and I mean the natural physical world, the easier it is to connect with spirit, which, remember, that 8 of this card, it's a 35, that 8 is about living in 2 worlds simultaneously, the world of the physical and the non-physical. So throughout the year, make a point of really connecting with nature and doing it with as little thought as possible, just experiencing everything, taking it in as the observer with all of your senses. Okay, now the final card, what we're looking toward the end of the year, kind of how we're going to feel at the end of the year. Oh, this one is so powerful. It's card number 1, the Love Goddess. The message on here is you will awaken to real love and you will feel real love. And this is about experiencing love at a deeper level. Essentially, that's what spiritual growth, spiritual awakening is all about. It's experiencing love at deeper and deeper levels, more expanded levels, different kind of love. So this is not only about letting divine love flow through you, but really learning how to love yourself. Take that back. Learning sounds like work. Allowing yourself to just be in love with yourself, the same way your higher self loves you. Allowing yourself to be loved, allowing yourself to love yourself, experiencing love as you interact with other people, as you interact with non-physical world, as you interact with the natural world, as you interact with ideas or thoughts. You can experience love on so many different levels. And the Love Goddess, she is telling us that's how we're going to feel at the end of 2023. We're going to look back and feel like, wow, we've really grown in love this year. You're really going to feel so different. And it is going to be at a higher level. Again, the last 3 years have been preparation for this new phase that we're moving into, a new joyful, lighter phase. And ultimately, it is about experiencing more love, receiving more love, giving more love, and just experiencing love at a higher level. Now that feels like something to look forward to. So that's basically my outlook or forecast, if you will, for 2023. Just want to leave a couple of thoughts with you as we wrap this up. We're out here on the leading edge of evolution. Those of us who are awakening spiritually and conscious and more conscious of our journeys, sometimes it's hard because we're out there at the forefront and we're going places that humanity hasn't gone before. There are no guardrails. There are no clear paths ahead of us. So it feels tenuous at times because we're not sure. This is all new. It's not like we're following someone else's path and it's a well-paved path and there's guardrails on both sides and it's like, I don't have to think about it. No, we're out there on the edge. And sometimes it's a little scary because sometimes you feel like there's nothing to hold on to. There's no solidity. There's no security. Well, the security is within you. Feeling more grounded, feeling trusting. I'll tell you, trust is one of the most important Lemurian concepts, that you really can trust the journey. Absolutely. No fear, no doubt, you can trust. So that security that you might be looking for, that stability, that's within you. So that's something else to remember in this new year. That security and stability is within you. You're not going to find it outside of you in another person or an institution or something. It's within you. You have all the stability you need to allow the most joyful and fulfilling life to unfold for you. And the final thing that I wanted to share today were 3 practices that my guides suggest that we keep in mind for the new year. First is to meditate. If you don't have a daily practice of simple meditation, I can guarantee you, life is a lot harder than it needs to be. So developing a daily practice of short meditation, just allowing your mind to clear for 15, 20 minutes a day is enough. But making that a regular part of your daily habit, doing it as early in the day as possible before you start picking up those trains of thought of, habitual thoughts or things that you need to do today, worries and so forth. Do it as early in the day as possible. But meditation, a daily practice of simple meditation, will change your life more than anything else I can think of. My mentors have taught me that over the years, and in my own practice, I've never found anything that's more powerful. So meditate. Try to do it as best you can every day. The other thing was to connect with nature. We already talked about that in the card reading, but my guides really wanted us to make an effort to get out and connect with nature. That energetic connection will help us on multiple levels and make the flow of life a lot easier, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And finally, this is the year where it's really going to be important to let go of self-doubt and self-criticism. These are the 2 biggest hurdles that we put in our own way. And they're just habits. We don't have to be self-critical, but we choose to be. We don't have to have self-doubt, but we choose to doubt ourselves. Again, these are just thoughts and often habits of thoughts. Choose a different way of thinking about yourself. Let those old thought patterns just kind of drift away, fizzle away into nothingness. Develop new patterns of thought where you are special and worthy and that you trust the process of life and you really are a confident person because you realize just how powerful and divine you really are. I look forward to connecting with you and staying in touch throughout 2023. But until next time, the next time we get to visit, I send you my love and bright blessings from Lemuria. Aloha.